This video is for Lab 7.8, Prescriptive Analytics, Calculating Product Price using GoalSeek. And I'll walk through this lab using ChatGPT version 5.2. In this lab, we will use GenAI to GoalSeek to determine the product price necessary to achieve a desired net income. To begin our analysis, you first need to open up your GenAI, and I'm using ChatGPT Auto, which apparently is either going to use ChatGPT version 5.2 or 5.3, depending upon the question. Whenever we use GenAI, we always need to ask it to start a new chat. And the reason why is we want to make sure we reset the chat to start with a fresh set of data and instructions. Now note in this lab, there is no data file to upload for this analysis. So we have a new chat started, so let's go ahead and prompt it to solve. And if you remember correctly, we're going to determine the product price necessary to generate a certain profit. So the first thing we want to do is ask ChatGPT to assume the following facts. Assume that price per unit is $15. Units sold are 100 per month. Unit variable cost equals $5, and fixed cost is $100 per month. And notice it goes ahead and gives you some assumptions about revenue being priced per unit, times units sold, which is correct. It also knows that total variable cost is variable cost per unit times units sold, and contribution margin is the difference between the price and the variable cost. And so it's $10 per unit, and the total contribution margin for 100 units is $1,000. And so profit is contribution margin minus fixed cost, which is $900. Okay, notice it also calculates some ratios and then gives us a summarization of all the results. The next thing I want to do is I want to create a table. So specifically, I'm going to ask GenAI to create a table for price per unit, units sold, unit variable cost, total sales revenue, total variable cost, total fixed cost, and knitting for 12 months starting in January. And I'm going to scroll down here so we can see the entire table. And oops, it went too far. But as you can see, it created an entire table. And since we have units sold as always $100 each month, creates $900 of income, like we saw above. And it goes from January through December. So that looks good. The next thing we need to do is we want to make a few changes. So we're going to ask GenAI to please make the columns, the months and the rows for price per unit, unit sold, unit variable cost, total unit sales revenue, total variable cost, total fixed cost, and net income. So we're basically flipping it because we want to see the month up top, as you can see it did, and then show us all the calculations moving down the page. So our net income is down here now. So the next thing we want to do in our analysis is we want to ask GenAI to keep the current format. Please add a total column at the end that sums up total sales revenue, total variable cost, total fixed cost, and net income. So the total column for price per unit, units sold, and unit variable cost to NA. So let's scroll down to the bottom here, and then we will scroll over so we can see what happened. So notice I'm going to scroll up here a little bit. It added a total here, and so the first three rows are in NA because they're per unit basis, or fixed as if the fixed cost is. The net income at the bottom will be $10,800 for the entire year because that's where the net income total is right there. And now that we've given GenAI some information, we are ready to perform a goal seek. And if the desired net income for 12 months is $15,000, what should the price per unit be? And so it's going to work backwards for us, and it says the required price per unit is $18.50. Now we want it to update the table based upon this new price. So we're going to prompt GenAI saying, let's update the table. Please keep the current table format. Please update the price per unit to be $18.50. Please recalculate a table using a price of $18.50 and show the revised table. So as you can see, the units sold remains the same, unit variable cost is the same, but the price per unit is now $18.50, which is going to change our everything down below. And if I scroll over, notice our goal. Target goal of $15,000 was met. We are now ready to report our results. So I'm going to go ahead and ask GenAI to use the table to create a bar chart. And please create a bar chart with monthly net income as the bars. Format the bar color as blue, number 1F449C. And so GenAI should create a bar chart using a color that is more readable for people who are colorblind. And notice it shows that we make the same amount every month because we sell the same number of units every month. What I'd like to do is add a cumulative net income line. So I'm going to prompt GenAI saying, using the data in the table, please add a line to the chart for cumulative net income for each month. Show the new chart. And so this way, we can keep track of how much we have made during the year. So this is the monthly income down here. And then this shows that every month it goes up to the $15,000 that we wanted to make. I would like to format this chart a little bit more. So I'm going to first ask GenAI to please format the y-axis as currency using a $ and commas. So as you can see now, the y-axis is formatted as dollars with commas. And now I would also like to format all the rows of the table to currency with $ and cents, except for units sold because we can't sell partial units. As you can see, GenAI created a chart. It's now formatted with $ and cents, except for the units sold, so that looks good. And now I would like GenAI to display the prompts for this chat, so you can turn that into your professor, or you can save these prompts for future use. Now you can either take a screenshot of the prompts, or you can export it, and I'm going to show you how to export something. So if you want to export something, you would prompt GenAI something like, please output the table as a PNG file titled lab 7.8, GenAI table. And I will skip until the download is ready. GenAI tells us the table has been exported as PNG. If you would like to download the file, you would just click on the blue, download the PNG prompt there, and save the file to your computer. You can also use this process to download the prompts or anything else from the lab, and you can also specify it to download it as Word, as well as PNG and other formats. And this concludes Lab 7.8.